Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you and welcome to Olga's show. This show where you can learn from the best people in the world who are coming along me to actually teach you, educate you, inspire you, and motivate you. Today I have the star of the show, Adrian Hales, who is a speaker, who is also a phenomenal coach and also a podcaster who speaks to some top leaders in the world at his podcast and coaches some absolutely phenomenal people himself. So, Adrian Hales, I'm so happy to have you back in my studio today again with such a phenomenal topic, awakening leadership. How hot topic is that?
Yeah, it's quite a big topic at the moment because the world is going through like a big awakening, and I think the most important thing now that's going to direct the world is those people that might not be as confident in leadership, or those new managers, or those people waiting in the wings who want to be a leader. And it is really about the evolution of the world and awakening your leadership. And that's a massively important topic. And I appreciate the introduction there about my podcast having some really global leaders on there. One of them being you.
That's true. Yes, I was at your podcast and I really enjoyed that. I must say you are a really, really good host. And every time when I had you on my show, it was really great discussion. And you know what I'm really, really happy about? The feedback we received. The recent message, which I also shared with you, it was so nice when somebody says to us how much difference our show actually made to this gentleman's life, that he started overthinking less and he started working more on himself. And that's exactly what we want to achieve with these shows, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's, the topic is awakening leadership and the real awakening. And I can't remember the gentleman's name, obviously, but the message that you sent me was really nice, that we're making a difference to either one person, 10 people, 20, 30 people, whatever that might be. And I remember the conversation that person was having a challenge within their relationship. Whatever, I think it was about, wanting to create love within a relationship, but there was some unworkability there, something that wasn't quite working. And if we look across our lives, if there's an area that isn't working, it's often where we're not taking a level of commitment or responsibility to fix that area, or change that area, or create a new possibility. But when we're able to be responsible for our life in that area and become our own leader, that's when it starts to change. That's when we awaken, our leadership. And I think it's very important to differentiate with just being a leader in a company or just thinking we're a leader. A leader it's very important to have a level of purpose behind, and it's a big buzzword, purpose, but what does that mean? But a purpose is really understanding why you're doing it, the purpose behind you being a leader, because then everything else falls into place. That's an important. So an example of this gentleman that wants to fix or change his relationship, the purpose within his leadership was to create a loving relationship, and that purpose then drove him then to create the result by himself. But that's an example of personal leadership.
That's very true. And actually, to recognize this amazing gentleman, his name is Jasvi, and that's exactly what he said. I was able to be more vulnerable, better listener, and reduced my overthinking. So he's really, really grateful for the show. He says, Olga, I know it takes a lot to do quality content so regularly, but want you to know you're making an impact. I'm happier thanks to you. And Adrian Hales, he is such a beautiful human being. You both make a great team. How nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. It makes you, wanting to continue to do them. I mean, obviously I do a podcast every week. I'm not quite at your level yet. I mean, you're doing like 3 episodes with some amazing people. I'm managing to do 1 a week. So, that content and that purpose-led content that's going out is making a difference to people in different countries. And it's great to get that feedback, because that's an indication of there's some level of change there within someone's life, and that's why we do it. Change, transformation, and healing. That's why I do what I do, and I'm sure there's some synergies to what you do as well.
Absolutely, 100%. And I love the description which you gave to a leader. The leader doesn't have to be necessarily just in a business, right?
Yeah.
Because in a family, you have to have a leader. Within your friendship, you always have somebody who is a leader of your tribe, of your little circle, inner circle, who is the one who is organizing, who is the one who is people looking up at to, who is the one who, is always there to help. And leader is somebody, in my eyes personally, leader is somebody who is there, as you mentioned, with a purpose, and also who really cares, like really, really cares. And unfortunately, what I see nowadays in the world, it really upsets me and also makes me not even to watch any news.
Mm.
Because the way how I feel what happens in a big leadership, like on a political level, that people are playing big boys game, right, or big girls game, when they are coming from the place of their own unfulfilled insecurities coming all the way from their childhood, rather thinking, okay, what can we do really best for the country, best for the region, best for the community? And it
Mm.
really upsets me, because very often I'm looking at them thinking, you could do with some coaching, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's really important perspective, because you've got a lot of chaos in the world, right? You've got a lot of chaos happening, a lot of conflict. We are experiencing a lot of kickback or backlash or stuff from coronavirus. But when you look at the world in general, leadership has always been a kind of a very big hot topic. But if you look at what we're going through now, there's an awakening happening. And what I mean by that awakening is that we've been, as a society, as a collective globally, we've been doing the same thing over and over again. Greed has blinded people. There's been workplace bullying. There's been more challenges to make it, to be somebody, to become something in the eyes of society. There's more challenges now on people in their roles. There's more challenges around businesses growing based on what's happening, and there's a real awakening happening. And what's happening is everybody has a level of mental conditioning which they've learned throughout their lives, and that conditioning now is starting to the gaps is starting to move and starting to change, and people are starting to see a glint. They're starting to see what's been happening, the game that's been played, and they've been in some way a pawn of that game. And now they're starting to see through that it's not just about archaic control, archaic leadership, what society wants, that if it was created by somebody else and it's conditioning, what's now available for my life? What would give my life more of a sense of meaning? How can I awaken my leadership, whether that's in the role that I'm currently in, changing jobs, or starting my own business? People are starting to see through those. They're starting to see through that if we put our job security in this role, and I put my whole life into this company, I give my heart to essentially pay back the shareholders, which is important in business. Obviously, you've got to make money, but I put my whole heart and soul into this. And then when the going gets tough, people's security now questions, because companies very quickly will get rid of people, make people redundant. There's bullying, so on and so forth, which is an example of pretend leadership. So people are questioning now. They're saying to themselves, well, if my job security is so fragile, what's stopping me from creating my own life and creating life on my terms? Now, that could be creating your life on your own terms, creating more meaning, awakening your leadership within that role, moving companies, or it could be that you wanted to be a coach and start your own business. I was working with one of my clients, my coaching clients, and they work in the banking district. They work in the banking industry, and most of their life, they'd always conformed by the rules, the conditions of society. And in some ways that kept them stuck, those conditioned patterns And the condition patterns are like, I don't want to upset the apple cart. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be exceptional because my parents might not approve. I don't want to upset my boss because I might get the sack. And what that does is it keeps us playing small. It keeps us in our little box. And of course, that's what society wants. But it's really, awakening leadership is about being exceptional. It's about full self-expression of your leadership, and then just being clear on that. And I think very important when I was speaking or working with my client is they were going through a redundancy process. And they felt at that point that this company are, taking me through a redundancy process. They've got all the control. I don't know what I can do, which is an example of being at effect of everything. But when you take full responsibility and you understand what's important to you in that place, and then you be a leader and be very clear on what's important to you, the whole thing can change. And what I worked on with my client is, okay, you're losing this role. What would be an unbelievable role which would fulfill all of your desires and fulfill you as a person? And the person created that role in their mind, and they went to their boss and they said, I know I'm being made redundant, but actually this is the value that I can add. These are the problems I can solve. This is what I really love. And there was a role which was very similar in that banking company they went for. Mm-hmm. But they also said, which is a very key thing, I think when we're going for these new roles, we're so desperate because we're being made redundant or we're losing our jobs. So we kind of go, please, like Oliver Twist, please, sir, can I have some more? And we kind of, we almost become desperate in keeping a job just for a salary. Then what happens is the leaders and managers can see that. And what they'll do is they'll know that you're going to be working for them, and it's all about authoritarian leadership. Whereas if what we worked on, and it's a suggestion for everyone listening, is going to say, I'm happy to, hi Olga, this is what my skills are. These are my strengths. These are the challenges and the problems I can help you solve as a boss. I respect you as a boss and as a director, and I really want to work with you. These are the three things that you said are important, and I can do those for you. Yeah. And I can do those three things for you if you can satisfy these three things for me in this role. Yeah. So it becomes equanimity, it becomes an exchange, and it becomes we're on a team, as you said at the start. Mm-hmm. We're the same, and that's what you call equality. And when you can create that agreement with two people, the team, the relating to each other and that leading each other just, goes to a whole new level. Because before, there's unworkability in the constraints of that dictatorial type leadership.
I love that. I really love it. And that's very, very deep. I like that. But also we must remember that very often people go into leadership for wrong reasons. Mm. Some people go into leadership because they want just to simply feel significant. Mm. Going back to human needs, right? There are 6 human needs: variety, certainty, significance, love and connection, growth or contribution.
Yeah.
So when some people go into leadership simply because all they want is just to feel significant, all they want is just to feel like a boss, all they want is just to feel like, I'm the main person here, whether it's government or a company or anything else, then they unfortunately have wrong reasons. And I must say, yes, of course, every leader must have certain need for significance. Otherwise, it will be quite difficult for that type of leader to be on the spot, right? Because being a leader means you are on the spot. So you should be okay with feeling that people pay attention to you, people speak about you, people like or dislike you. Yes, of course, you should be able to tolerate all of that. But at the same time, I think it should be a lot to do with finding the reasons why exactly somebody wants to go into leadership in one area or another. What do you think about this, Adrian?
I think it's, Yeah, obviously significance could be a part of leadership, self-expression, being recognized. And then that's kind of what I was speaking about before.
Mhm.
Yes, you do get a salary in a role, and yes, your leader, your boss, your company wants these three things off you, and you're happy to do those three things if these three things are met. And that could be exactly what you said. It could be that you're more significant because your boss gives you a title that you want, for instance.
Yeah.
It could be you're more significant because your boss lets you run the Monday calls. It could be more significant because you and your boss have a very open feedback and reflection session each month. Whatever that, because everybody's needs are different, but it's being very clear on those needs and making sure that they're getting satisfied, because you're holding your boss to account on the things that are important to you, and they're holding you to account on the things that are important. And that's how performance, and that's how you create good performance. But if you don't have those, you've got no basis for the relationship. You've got no basis to work from. When you have those agreements, those standards in place, you can always, if someone's meeting them or not. And you can be powerful in your leadership and call people out. You can call people out that actually you didn't do that, and that's something that we agreed on. And of course, then if that's not the things that you've agreed on, if that's not consistent over time, and it's causing you conflict, you have a position, you have a stake in the ground where you can say something. If it doesn't change over time, you can look for something that's going to be more in line with, I think when you're looking for a job, it's something in line with what gives you a sense of joy, what gives you a sense of aliveness, what inspires you. I know that sounds quite cliche, but most of our life we're working and we're doing something. Make sure that it satisfies something within you that's important to you, or you're just wasting your time.
That is so true. And life is so precious.
Yeah.
We don't even have that much time. I mean, we think we do, but we actually don't. We really don't. And I'm so happy that you and I, Adrian, we are using our time wisely when we go to lives and we bring important topics to people. And actually here on LinkedIn, we have Drew, who says very nice compliment to both of us. He says, "Thank you for your time, Adrian, for sharing your thoughts with us. Olga, as always, thanks a bunch." Well, it's our pleasure. That's why we are here, because we want to pass on our knowledge, our expertise based on all the work we've done with the clients, and also all our education which we gained through seminars, through courses, through everything else. Because again, the more you learn, the more you earn, and the more you can pass on the knowledge. So it's our delight and our pleasure actually to serve you right now. And you'll be pleased to hear, Adrian, that we have people from around the globe again, which is amazing. I love that. I know that not everybody shared with us where they joined us from, but I can see people join from different countries, including Asia,
wow,
London, and USA as well, actually. So that's amazing. So those who are watching us right now across LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, please do make sure you share with us your location. And today I'm speaking to Adrian Hales. And well, you, Adrian, you've been already to my show a few times, and I'll make sure I share the previous videos of our show below this video. But today we're speaking in particular on how to be the leader you were born to be through awakening leadership. So Adrian, I wonder, I know that pretty much everybody has the chance or potential to be a leader, but leadership is something what we have naturally, right? And then we develop that even stronger.
Yeah.
The world almost like divided into two enemy teams, if you want to call it that way. One team believes you have to be born a natural leader in order to be a leader. And second team believes that no, everybody has a equal opportunity to be a leader. What are your thoughts about this? Do you think literally anyone can be a leader?
Yeah, I think anyone can be a leader, whether you're, certainly lacking. If you're lacking confidence in leadership, then you can still be a leader. If you don't have a team, you can still be a leader. If you have a team, you can be a leader. I think wherever I think wherever you are in life, as you reflected earlier, is that whatever area of our life, whether that's relationships, whether that's our career, whether that's we're a coach, whether that's just in life, we can lead our life. And I think the important perspective, I think you spoke about it, we had that conversation earlier, is around understanding what our purpose is, understanding what gives our life a sense of meaning. And we've had discussions around purpose before, but it's understanding what's the purpose of you wanting to be a leader. Now, I think to a degree, if we simplify it, everybody was born and everybody's made it through life to this point. So they've led their life in some way. I think when you become a leader, it's about really looking at where you want to go in life, what gives your life a sense of meaning, what makes you feel alive, whether that's developing people in a corporate company, whether that's being a coach, whether that be creating, I don't know, like a yoga studio and having, yogis practicing yoga, whatever that is. To a degree, we're all responsible in some way for our leadership. And I think when leadership is combined with purpose, understanding your purpose, so like my purpose is about healing, transformation, and awakening leadership. So people, specifically managers, directors, and coaches, can become exceptional. So that's my purpose. And it's, you might want to take a pen out now or take some time to reflect after this video. What's your purpose in being a leader? And it'd be great to find out for you, Olga, like what would you say your purpose is in being a leader or helping other people become leaders? Because I know that's a big thing that you do. You obviously share a lot of knowledge from your show, and to some degree, you're creating leaders in their own right, whether that be a leader changing the face of their relationship, whether that be a leader in an organization that's got a team, or whether that be a leader who's literally just on their own creating some type of revolution. They're all examples of leadership. So it'd be great to get your perspective on what's your purpose of being a leader in what you do.
Thank you. That's a great question. And thank you so much for asking me this. Well, I'm going to say my purpose or my main aim, why actually I step up and why I level up my game all the time, is about transformation. Because I transform my own life, and I know how much difference it made to me, it made to my heart, to my soul, to my purpose. Well, by finding myself, I'm able to do this. So my main reason being a leader is actually to help many other people to transform their own lives and to reveal, to find, to uncover, to declutter, and to dig out that golden nugget, that diamond within themselves, and pull it out of their soul. So that's my main purpose, why I do what I do. And that's the reason why I do so many things as well, being a coach, being a speaker, next year being president at our Professional Speaking Association in Yorkshire region, because even there, my main aim, for example, for next year are 3 words. It is growth, it is connection, it is accountability, right? So even there, I'm going with a purpose, and I want to make a difference. I want to make a change. I want to up-level our region. And that's who I am. And I cannot operate any other way. And unfortunately, sometimes you will come across people who will put you down. The more you want to make a difference in the world, the more people you will face who actually will not agree with your mission. They will not agree with what you do, or out of jealousy, they will try to stop you. And here's my question to you, actually, Adrian. What challenges do you think leaders who want to be leaders and they're practicing, they're improving themselves, or they already are on their journey, what challenges do you think they should be aware of, and what they should be almost like practicing, protecting themselves from, training, and literally being ready for? What are those challenges?
It's an interesting question, because I was reflecting. I was doing training in the park this morning, just like TRX, and I got like a boxing ball. But as I was riding my bike to the park to do my training session, I was reflecting on what we could speak about today. And I think the biggest challenge, one of the challenges, that people face is, if you go into an organization or you speak to a coach or you speak to somebody who wants to step into leadership or awaken leadership, what you find is they're externally focused. So straight away they're focused on, it's that, if it's an organization, I want to sort my team out. They're not doing what they should do. They're demotivated. Da 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 da. Or a coach will be like, oh, I want new clients. I've got to get new clients. I need to do new clients. Those are just examples. And they want to lead others in some way. Yeah. And you cannot, this is a distinction. You cannot lead others until you're leading yourself.
Definitely.
So the biggest challenges that leaders face is walking their walk first, because you won't get respect from your team. You won't get that buy-in from the team if they know that you don't look after your health and fitness, for instance, like you don't do what you say, you come in late, you're always in the coffee shop, you waste a lot of time. So when there's a lack of integrity around your own responsibility for leadership, then you cannot lead other people, because there's an incongruence there with how you talk, how you inspire. And when I was working in corporates, or when I'm a coach, there's nothing I would ask my clients to do or the people I work with that I haven't done already. So I think it's important for leaders to walk their talk and focus first before they even start leading the team, start coaching or start, putting on their LinkedIn profile that they're this kind of like superstar leader, that they have to be leading themselves and taking responsibility for leading themselves in all the different areas of their life. So examples of doing that it's very, very simple. Like, have you got health and fitness? Do you look after your mind, body, spirit? Do you regularly read about coaching and learning? Have you addressed your deepest fear that's stopping you from being a great leader through coaching? Do you read? Do you put yourself through challenging situations? Do you have simple standards in your life where you eat well, that you sleep well, that you make sure your environment's clean at home, that you have good people within your life? Are you actually stepping up? I don't like to use the word stepping up, but are you actually leading your life first? Spend time getting that into a place where you're proud of those things. Then we'll teach you how to lead others. I don't know what your thoughts and reflections are on that, but I think that's a very important, distinction there.
Oh yeah, 100%, absolutely 100%, and that's something what I always say, that you have to walk your talk. The amount of times I would walk into a networking event, I would walk in somewhere else, and I would speak to other people, and I would say I'm also a coach. Particular people want to say I'm a confidence coach, or they would say I'm a leadership coach or something else, but you look at their behavior and look what they do, and not necessarily they are, right? Or I'm a wellness coach. Are you really, right? So I do believe in walking your talk, and that's something that I am proud of that, because I believe I must do that. In fact, what I do, Adrian, is I have a red book, which is right now in my office. I have a red book, which is Coaching by Olga Geidane, because my aim and my almost like my task every time after every session with my client, which I had, whatever homework they do, I do the same homework, because I want to take it to the very deep level. I want to feel what clients feeling. I want to experience what they experience, right? And I must say, since the time I started doing that, it's just remarkable how many more revelations I had on my own, right? So I strongly believe you should always walk your talk. Because then you earn that respect, because people will look at you and they will firstly respect you, and then they will want to work with you. So is that. But in addition to what else people need to be aware of on the way to become a leader, I think it's ability to build and lose relationships, right? Because what we do, we build relationships, right? We build reputation, we build ourselves for years, for decades, but it takes seconds to ruin your relationships. It takes seconds to ruin your reputation. So I think building and ruining is something we should be always aware of, right? Concentrate on building and be mindful of not to ruin what you have built, right? And
Mm.
that means before you became a leader, live the life as you already are a leader. Unfortunately, I have seen too many people becoming somebody, and then somebody is looking at their social media and scrutinizing that. And my question is, why would you do all of that? Why would you behave that way, right? If you were working towards that, wouldn't you be more mindful? Wouldn't you be more aware that one day they're gonna leak out, right? So I think being a leader also means being mindful of your behavior. Yes, that means, and I strongly believe to a certain extent, be respectful to other people's values, be respectful to other people's standards. Unfortunately, too many people, they have the attitude of I don't care, which I think, all right, you have the attitude I don't care, but in that case, unfortunately, you have to deal with a lot more than if you would be more respectful. So I think it's about living the life as you already are there, meaning concentrate on building relationships, really build them and nurture them. But same time, be aware it takes seconds to ruin your relationships. But sticking to your values and sticking to your standards, even though you will be challenged, and you will be challenged a lot, the higher you go, the more challenges you will face. And I mean, that's where you have to have really strong character to still stick to your values, stick to your truth, because people will challenge you. That's my 2 cents on what you should be aware of when you are becoming a leader. Concentrate on relationships.
I think the important thing is, if you're a leader and you're going into a coaching process, it's to realize that it is definitely a journey. And I would say that people are used to you in a certain way. They're used to relating to you that way. They're used to communicating you as you are. When you start to want to become exceptional, awakening your leadership, whatever that might mean for you, there is going to be a journey there. And people are going to test your boundaries. They're going to challenge you. When you're going through that change process, sometimes it will work out and you'll feel on top of the world and you'll feel like alive because you've transformed something, like a fear that's stopped you from reaching the next level, whatever that might be for you. You might also get a family member who disagrees with you or doesn't speak to you again. You might get a friend that starts to move by you. You might get people at work that disagree. You might get them agreeing. You'll have all different waves. But it's realizing that's part of the process. And within that process, what you start to become is more self-aware, more skillful, more humble, more present. And you as you spoke, Olga, about relationships, you develop, when you've removed a lot of the conditioning, gone through that journey of change, and you develop that level of a new self-awareness. But as you said, with relationships, Olga, you're able to relate to people and connect with people on a much deeper level. And it's very clear then with the people that are not right for your life right now in a career. And it's very clear where those people are. And I would say it's not avoiding those people, but it's spending less time with those people. But if it's someone that's constantly, like a boss who's constantly within your life or a relationship, you have to be very powerful in that conversation. You have to have that conversation and express how you're feeling, because that's being brave and courageous, and you will find that good will come out of it. A lot of the time we're afraid to have that conversation, but actually once we check people's behavior, they don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I work with a coaching client. They're in sales, and their boss was, constantly calling them and constantly jumping in on meetings and constantly interrupting them. And this went on for a period of time before they started working with me. But one thing that was happening is they weren't taking responsibility for that. They were just allowing that to happen because I think the big fear is the fear of rejection, and that you might be the bad person, and then your job's at risk. But then it's like, okay, well, I've got a paycheck and I have to put up with this. And people don't know that they're doing it. They don't think you know that they're doing, but it's very obvious to you. So a good thing a good exercise that I got that person to do is I got them to write down how they were feeling. So this is what's happening. This is how I'm feeling. And then once you write all those feelings down, what are the three things that's the essence of what's causing this? And then what's the one thing out of those three things that is the theme? And it's a very, very simple question, and it works really well in changing someone's behavior, because I'll tell you the question and then I'll tell you what happened after. It's very simple. But it's not getting emotional, it's getting factual. So, and it could be, Olga, you're interrupting me on meetings, you're turning up late for all our meetings, and you interrupted me the other day on this meeting. That makes me feel undervalued. Is that your intention? And then you just wait. And then what you've done is you've highlighted that behavior, and the person will obviously go, no, that's not my intention, I'm so sorry, or whatever. You get to find their intention, but you get to play back how that feels. So factual, how that makes you feel. Is that your intention? And then after that, their boss, their leader, was so nice to them, and all that behavior changed, and those behaviors never happened again, because that person had been called out in a nice way, that's something that was affecting that person's motivation. And if that goes on for a long, long period of time, that can develop kind of mental health and mental well-being challenges. It can make us sick. It can make us go off sick because we didn't take personal leadership and responsibility for that. So that's my perspective.
I love that. And this is so, so important. I love that. I love the way how you highlight that. And actually, we have another comment from Drew. He says, I will literally put it on the screen. Wow, what a line, Adrian. That's going back to the previous comment. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself. Says a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a great takeaway. I love that. Absolutely love that. That's amazing.
I didn't even know I said that. I think your shows are great, because we just get into like real good conversations, and sometimes we're like completely in the flow, and we're just like whatever's flowing out is flowing out.
That's true. Well, that's why I really love having you back in the studio as well, because every time we have a conversation, some absolute good golden nuggets are coming through. So I would love to hear from those who are watching us right now. What are your golden nuggets? What are your takeaways? Please let us know, because ideally we want to make a difference. Yeah. And one more thing what you can do to help us, to help Adrian, to help myself on our mission to inspire, educate, and motivate more people, is to actually make one share. Just one share, not going to cost you much. I mean, it's going to be for free completely, right? Let's be frank here. But at the same time, you will be able to inspire so many other people. Just one share will make a huge difference. But also we have Howard, our regular and favorite Howard, who actually says, hi, Olga and Adrian, you picked up a Friday again. I'll need to catch up the replay. Thank you, Howard, for joining us. He joined us on YouTube. That's why some people from LinkedIn cannot see the comment. But Adrian, let me surprise you how far we went today with the show.
Wow.
Check this out. We went all the way to the Philippines.
Really?
I've never even been to Philippines myself personally. So it's good to see that the show went all the way to the Philippines, which is amazing. But thank you so much, everybody who was watching us today. It was a pleasure to have you. I would love to hear what were your takeaways. And when it comes to connecting with Adrian, you connect with him on Facebook. The link is right now on the screen. You also connect with him on the LinkedIn. And here's the link for you as well. But also, please make sure you do check the podcast by Adrian, which is really powerful and empowering podcast. I must say, people whom you have on your podcast are really remarkable, and the difference you're making, Adrian, is absolutely phenomenal. So thank you so much for your wisdom today. I thoroughly enjoyed having you back. And we're definitely going back next month again, because I will promise to you, our dear audiences, to come back once a month. But Adrian, could you please tell us, how can you help those who are watching us right now, and where people can find you?
Yeah, so if people want to listen to my podcast, that's Superhuman Journeys with Adrian Hales. We've had Olga on there talking about the power of vulnerability, and we've had some TED speakers and coaches and world-renowned transformation experts. So that's a place that you can go. If coaching is of interest around awakening your leadership and taking yourself to the next level of your life and career, please drop me a LinkedIn message, and that's something which we can explore. So that's how people can get in contact with me. And for those that have been listening, thank you very much for taking your time out today. And really, for the people listening now, it takes time to come out of your day. That's an example of leadership.
I agree with you, and I really, really value that. Absolutely. So thank you so much, everybody who was with us today, who gave this time, who were commenting, who were sharing where you're joining us from. It's amazing to have you here. Absolutely amazing. And actually, we have another comment here. Drew says, "I'm watching you guys live. Notes for me."
Awesome.
That's good. That's good. Amazing. Yes, we have plenty of people watching us, which is amazing. But yes, guys, please make sure you do help us to spread the word by sharing just once. You don't have to share many times. Just once will be enough, because imagine if one day somebody reaches out to you and says, you, dear Mr. or dear Miss, because of your share, you inspired me. You shared that video and you made a difference to me. It means a lot to Adrian. It means a lot to me to hear feedback from you, to hear feedback from people who actually were inspired by the show. So Adrian, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming back, and I'm looking forward to see you next month.
Thank you very much for having me on the show, Olga, and I appreciate all the work that you're doing as well in sharing inspiration, leadership, and awakening to everyone around the world.
It's a pleasure. It's absolute pleasure, and it's an honor to serve people in this world. So thank you, everybody. Take care, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, where actually you can find more videos of myself and Adrian, and also many other inspirational videos with some top influencers of this world. So I will see you